Hello out there in TV land. My mini teach session is about In Real Nagel of 1890 by moi, Dakota Slattery. The facts of this case are that, suspecting a plot on the life of a Supreme Court Justice by the name of Stephen J. Field, the U.S. Attorney General had appointed a U.S. Marshal by the name of Nagel to act as his bodyguard, and while acting as the Supreme Court Justice's bodyguard, he had shot and killed a man who had appeared to take that Supreme Court Justice's life. Afterwards, California officials had came and arrested Mr. Nagel, the U.S. Marshal, and had jailed him for killing a man. The U.S. had then sought his release via the right of habeas corpus. Now, some of you may not know what a right of habeas corpus is. It is an appeal to the Constitutional Congress to go against a unlawful and indefinite imprisonment. Now then, the issues and the thoughts that came with this case were that the issues about whether or not the state was obligated to obey the right, even though no national statute had empowered that the Attorney General to provide judges or justices with bodyguards, as in the case with Nagel and Stephen. However, even though there is no national statute in where the attorney can or can't do such a thing, there is also no national statute that says they can't do that in order to protect a person's life by giving them a bodyguard with the ability to shoot and kill whoever comes to take their client's life away, as a form of self-defense. The holding of this court's decision was yes, that the Attorney General had acted appropriately since assigning Nagel as Chief Justice Field's bodyguard, and had acted faithfully while executing his orders. Furthermore, he went and gone above. He went and performed actions that are consistent with the Congressional Statute of Powers, which provides U.S. Marshals the same power of executing laws as a state and deputy sheriff, which allows them to deter an attack on Mr. Field's life. The overall opinion in this case was that the federal officers are immune from state prosecution when acting within the scope of their federal authorities, such as protecting a group or an individual who is charged into their protective custody, as such as Nagel and Justice Field. The rationale in the In re Nagel case of 1890 is that after the Attorney General appointed U.S. Marshal Nagel as Justice Stephen J. Field's bodyguard, had faithfully performed his duties as a bodyguard in accordance with the powers that were given to him by the congressional statute, which gives U.S. Marshals the same powers in executing laws, as the same abilities as given to state sheriffs and deputies, which are charged in protecting life, in which he had been charged of protecting a life, and as such, all the charges were dropped. Now then, let's talk about the significance of this case. It allowed federal marshals who were, in effect, acting within the scope of their capacity, as their name suggests, a federal marshal, to take a life if it guaranteed the safety and the protection of another life that they are in charge of guarding and ensuring that they stay in one piece. Then they are allowed to take the life of another if it is through the affirmation of both the federal and executive branch's power, and in such as Nagel's case, he was charged in acting as a bodyguard for Chief Justice Stephen J. Field to defend that person's life when it was clear that someone was targeting his own life. As such, Nagel was given the clear go-ahead to take that person's life, the attacker, in order to protect Supreme Court Justice Field's life. Now then, let's talk about other instances where this could have happened. Let's say that a judge, a completely random judge, is being targeted by a hitman. The Attorney General can, as their right as a citizen, a concerned citizen, to hire a bodyguard to protect that person, is within that person's ability to protect and guard them. But they themselves aren't a federal marshal. They have to be careful not to overstep their boundary. They could protect a person's life, but not take that attacker's life unless they were given the same powers through the affirmation of the federal and executive branches, just as Nigel's case. Only then could they protect the person they've been charged in protecting through lethal force. I believe that this case was very special because it allowed others to realize this fact that taking the life of another to protect someone can only be done through the affirmation of the two branches of power, the federal and executive. Now then, what would you do in this case? What questions would you have after learning about this case, and would you sympathize with the U.S. Marshal or deny him, look down on him for his actions to take a life? I myself believe that he was in the right, that he did everything in his power to protect someone that was put into his care, whether or not it meant that he would be punished severely for it. Thank you for your time today.